Hi, I'm Paul.
I'm Tammy.
And we're Inseparable. And today we're doing part 2 of Taxi, and we're going to talk about that first gut-wrenching scene that we had to do. But I see you are in your driving getup. Yeah, you know, and I forgot. I'm glad you did that because I wanted to mention something I forgot to mention, that we talked about the clip in Mustang Sally that prompted us to do Taxi is actually in sequel. At the very end, that's the very clip. I managed to work it in.
So, I see you're in your tux. I see you remembered to wear pants this time.
Yeah, I figure what's the point in not wearing pants if nobody's going to know that you're not wearing pants, right? So, yeah, that was in one of our videos where I just had my shorts on. That was a big thing back in the pandemic where people would be online or in the chat, you know, and then they get up and they
stand up and they didn't have their boxer shorts or something. So, what's the tux about?
Well, I've been elevated to limo driver. You know, I'm no longer a cab driver. I made it all the way up to limo driver. But
seriously, is it in the video in Taxi?
Yeah, it is. It's in sequel.
Oh, okay.
And for sequel, I played the butler. And we play all the parts.
Oh, yeah, the butler.
In fact, the house plays 2 parts. We'll talk about that. That'll be one of the videos. But I played the butler. And if you see my head cut off, it was because I wasn't trying to show my face trying to hide my face as much as possible. And that was shot like a couple months before everything else. We were doing something where I was wearing the tux to shoot something. And I said, well, I have the tux on. Just in case we end up doing sequel, let's go ahead and film the butler scene.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's right. So let's talk about the scene that we first did, and we did it in the garage here. And you were none too happy by the time we were done.
Well, you hadn't explained to me that it had to be continuous, and usually when we do lines, we can edit it or do one line at a time, and then I'll do the next line. And if we need to do any editing, but you didn't want any interruption, and it was just like I was getting a little frustrated that you wanted to keep doing it over again, and I had to get out of the car and back in the car because we had to, get me getting in the car and so
in the garage in the dress.
Frustrating, and I was you were like, okay, one more time, and I'm like, seriously? Because
yes.
I mean, we probably have video.
I have that on video
of me going seriously.
What we did is. I felt like we had a shoot from you getting in the car. The first 2 lyrics of me driving. The third lyric is, and she got in at the light. And now we're in the garage, and I've got this overhead on, and you get in, and then we've got the computer right here on the seat, and we've got the music playing. So when it got to that, that second line, the lady up ahead waved to flag me down. That's when I signaled for you to come in. And then you get in, and I had us going almost all the way up to somewhere in the fairy tale where we're in the daylight, and you're in your Arizona uniform and we're driving, to get that all in one shot. And it took us maybe more than an hour to get it done. And she was really, but what happened afterwards, I got it all together and published it. And the first publish didn't have the Wild Man Wizard part. I had cut that out. And so the second, it was only 3 days later, we must have decided right away, this is now good. And we came out and did the lip sync. Because the one with the lip sync was published 3 days later. I just looked all this stuff up.
Yeah, I think it just gave us some time to decide to do that, and then learn how how we were gonna do it, because like you said, it wasn't really kind of discernible what he was actually saying in the high pitched part. But
right. But what I did leave in both the first and the second edition was that scene that we had done all the way up to, or just about, there was just a few seconds of me driving with you in the back seat, and then it goes over to the daytime scene, you know, somewhere in the fairy tale. Okay. And it took a little while, but I said, you know, it's just unnatural. You don't get in the taxi cab and sit for a minute and a half, which is what it was,
Oh, yeah.
before you start moving. That would be creepy. I might want to get out of the cab if that happened, especially if I'm a female, right?
Yeah.
So I ended up just using, 16 Parkside Lane, and you look out the window.
Yeah.
And then I cut from there, and we went out and shot me driving to cover that, you in the back seat, me driving. So all of that was like for naught. All we had to do was make it up to, somewhere. I mean, all we had to do was make it up to a little bit beyond 16 Parkside Lane. And because that would be what you would do in a taxi. You would get in, you give them the, now it's an Uber, but you would give them the address and you...
But there were other funny things that happened why we had to do it over, too. There was some times when you weren't supposed to be singing, or I was supposed to be saying my lines and you would mouth it.
Oh, yeah, that was funny.
Or like the you wouldn't supposed to be, you would say, okay, well, say this, or this is your time to do the line, and then you'd say, oh, I did it with you, and it's like,
yeah,
you're not supposed to
and
be
you could
doing
see it on camera.
You could see your mouth moving with the same as mine. So,
but all those video clips that we ended up cutting out, actually, some of them are in sequel. You wouldn't know it. You would think we're acting. I reused the part where you said in the original one. So, hey, how are you, Harry? Or what is it? I'm not getting the line. And you said, how are you, Harry?
Yeah.
I used that in sequel.
Yeah.
When that line came up in sequel from the original, and then some other clips that I managed to piece together where it actually looks like we're saying the words.
Yeah.
And we're not. They're just outtakes that I used from when we filmed that.
And it was in a different song, but
It's a sequel.
Yeah, it lines up. Yeah,
it lined up, and it was kind of the whole idea. Haven't we done this scene before? And you're like, yeah. You're back there saying, how many times are we going to do this scene? So.
Yeah, you were really a real producer that day. You were really a director
really,
or whatever, telling me what to.
Really ticked off my actress, my star.
Over again. That's all right.
So that's how we did the first part. That's what came of it. But good came of all of it. We used a lot of it. We still use a lot of it in other videos. We still use this one section where you're telling me to turn the light on and stuff like that, and I'm like. Yeah, we're out driving and stuff like that. But we did have a lot of fun making it.
Yeah.
I think that's enough for part 2.
Yeah.
Take care. God bless.
Thanks for watching. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.